shoot first, talk later. You know, so you go to a very, very nice place, despite the fact that it's really beautiful, you come back and you look in the computer, you see that actually the images are just okay, mediocre. You know, you find that something is missing. So why? I personally feel that it's because you don't think enough. You see something so nice and you try to just shoot from every possible angle, and you try to think that this is going to be turning out really nice, so I cannot stop shooting. I must continue to shoot. But my personal liking is, if I go to a very nice place, I'll check out the place for at least 10 to 15 minutes. Walk around the whole temple, walk around the whole compound, the whole church compound, and see what is really interesting to me. Because if you go to Eiffel Tower, for example, everybody's going to take that metal thing, you know, that's called Eiffel Tower. But what do you think is beautiful about Eiffel Tower? Then you got to think, what is it that you want to present to the audience? Today, you go out and shoot something. If 300 of you all shoot the same thing, do you think you can present something unique? Then you got to think. And when you think and when you have that vision, right, you are able to imagine how the shot can be created. You know, a lot of times, all of us say National Geographic photographers, fantastic, you know, Michael Yamashita, all these people, they really take very good, interesting people shots. How do they do it? What about this? All of you use computers, right, to actually look at the screen, see whether it's nice or not. Are you able to reproduce real colors? You know, like the one on the left, center, and the right, they're all the same. This on the left maybe is what shows on your LCD, the one on the center could be what is showing on the computer, and the one on the right is what is actually printed out. So are you able to tell color? You know? Which one is more red? It's the same? Really?
Yeah.
Sure? Yeah. It is the same. But when you are on the computer, when there's another color that's next to it, you can't tell exactly how red is red. I would say that the first most important step when you shoot an image, when you load your computer, is to actually calibrate your monitor. There are many devices nowadays in the market. I think some of the labs later on when you are submitting your pictures, all the monitors are actually calibrated just so that you get a right, at least for a start, pretty accurate graduation of colors. You know, your colors are consistent, your contrast is there, your brightness is there. If you don't have a good contrast, you may think that the image is very flat, and then you start to adjust the colors, start to adjust the curve to push it up. And then in the end, when you put onto someone else's monitor which is calibrated, the whole thing is just like that, the whole thing is just too contrasty. You know, even this projector itself is very contrasty. If you look at my screen, it's totally different. But projectors are limited by colors as compared to our screen. Even my laptop will never compare to a cinema display, for example, because there's a limitation. So if you really want to look at colors, you've got to get a good screen that's calibrated. If you don't have that, right, you probably will end up with images that the colors is a little bit off. Even your black and white, you think it's black and white. But you put on another person's computer, it could be slightly warm, or it could be slightly bluish, depending on how your monitor has been calibrated. This is my profile. I mean, really from capture to print, I will determine what is the camera profile I want to set. You guys know about sRGB and RGB and Adobe RGB, right, in your camera? Those who have SRR. So a lot of people will say, which is better? I would say both works for me. But I personally prefer Adobe RGB because it has a wider range of colors, wider gamut. But it's very difficult to control a lot of colors. So sometimes if you think that you don't have a lot of confidence, go for sRGB. But for me, I do a lot of print. When I mean print, it's not print to photograph, it's print to offset and books and stuff, right? So you need to convert the RGB image into CMYK, silent magenta, yellow, and black. So to me, a wider range of colors will give me better resolution when I convert to CMYK. So I'm doing that. So the camera profile that you set on the camera today, right, is very important. You go and try sRGB and Adobe RGB is totally different. What it's going to give you. And after that, you calibrate your monitors. And if you're really intending to print, you've got to calibrate your paper. And the final product is it for RGB? RGB means for printing on your normal inkjet printer, for printing on normal labs. CMYK is for offset printers. So you notice that some magazines, right, sometimes, you notice how come this photographer, his work really cannot make it. How come everything looks so flat, so faded, so jaded? That's not the photographer's fault. That's the magazine's fault. Whoever is a graphic designer or layout artist in the company, right, didn't do a proper conversion. So at the end, who suffers? The photographer who suffers. So for me, right, if I'm going to submit a picture to a magazine, right, I'll usually ask them, so what is your profile in CMYK? There's many different standards that you can follow. Can you give me your profile? So I want to convert it on Photoshop myself. Because I don't want to suffer, I want my image to come out. So I'll actually do that. If you're intending to do submissions to magazines and stuff, that will be a good choice. But if not, then you just continue to remind them, please convert my image to CMYK. Don't submit the RGB. They're supposed to know, but sometimes they just ignore or forget. So today, are we creating shots, or do we just like to click the shutter? I know a lot of guys are crazy about cameras, so when you hold the camera, you cannot stop clicking the shutter, you know, like a machine gun, just cannot stop. Whatever is good, just take. Do you have this problem? Do you find that you sometimes tend to overshoot, you know? But are you just recording an image, a shot? Oh, I see that is sample reference standing there, so I just shoot about 10 shots. But it's just sample reference, that's all. Or I brought a group of Japanese friends to Pulau Ubin, so they saw this nice little berry plant, so they shot it. Then she asked me, how? My shot interesting or not? I said, yeah, it's quite interesting, you probably go into the school textbook. That's all. It's a record shot. So a lot of us are doing just a record shot. That's all. It's clear, it's sharp, even technically the composition could be okay, nothing wrong, no fault, but it's just a record shot. So that will not impress anybody, because that anybody can do. If I pass it to my 5